Part 65. I was a village chief in a primitive society. Author, Big White Monster. Chapter 642. Kinjian stepped to the second floor of Yong'an building, stood upright and asked do we still want to go to the Spotted Deer tribe? Because he also knew that the tribe had begun to build a large market, and the Yanlong tribe was going to develop into a collective. The city tribe also knows about this. So he didn't know if he should go to the Spotted Deer tribe now, so he could only ask. Go, why not? Subai raised his eyebrows slightly and said. But isn't our tribe going to become a market tribe? Or will there be some conflict between their tribes? Kinjian said doubtfully. He felt that after the Yanlong tribe became a market tribe, there was no need to go to other market tribes. After all, the Yanlong tribe is short of everything now, and there is no need to go to the Spotted Deer tribe to exchange for those things. It's very necessary. So it's a bit unnecessary to waste a few days going there to exchange for some things you don't really need and bring them back. I asked you to go to the Spotted Deer tribe again not to exchange things, but to put an end to the matter, Subai said seriously. Is the matter settled? Kinjian didn't quite understand what Wu was talking about. We have always made arrangements with the Spotted Deer tribe on how many days to change, how many things to bring back, and how many things to bring back. These are all agreed upon. Su Bai picked up the teacup and continued, if we suddenly stop going, do you think it's appropriate? He feels that the most important thing in the primitive era is trust. Everything has been discussed before, but suddenly he doesn't go. This is a bit too bad. It's not that the Yanlong tribe has been completely destroyed. It's not that the Yanlong tribe encountered any big crisis, so they still wanted to go. The most important thing is that when they attacked the Black Snake tribe, they borrowed a lot of warriors from the Spotted Deer tribe. This alone is very important. People helped you when you were in need, but you went against what you agreed to at the time. Isn't this unjustifiable? Yes, I forgot about this. Should we just go and tell their tribe? Kinjian asked for instructions. It's just a little bit, but the most important thing is that you have to promote our tribe. Subai took a sip of hot tea. The hot tea stayed in his mouth for a while before he swallowed it. He liked this feeling very much. Because he could feel the taste and texture of the tea up close, as well as the slightly bitter feeling. It's quite good. Especially when you swallow it completely, there is still a burst of sweetness from the tea in your mouth. I understand, just like we brought things to set up a stall outside the Spotted Deer tribe before, this time we went to tell other tribes about our tribe becoming a market tribe. Qingyan suddenly realized. He finally understood that going to the Spotted Deer tribe this time would definitely not be a loss, and it was even a good thing to kill two birds with one stone. Well, I brought more things this time, including perfume and wine, so that other tribes can have a good look. Subai nodded. He planned to expand the reputation of the Yanlong tribe in various aspects. Only when more people come, the Yanlong tribe will develop better. Understand, I will definitely complete this task well. Kinjian stood up straighter. But not now, let's go after some time. Subai put down the teacup in his hand. For nothing else, it's because of Yong's incident. Now all the tribes need to take a rest. Everyone will not go to another tribe in a short time, let alone go there. Go to the market tribe to exchange things. Because the collapsed wooden houses and dead people in the tribe need to be dealt with, how can you have free time to exchange things? I understand, but when are we going? Kinjian naturally knew about the ferocious beast. You can set off again in 10 days. It will be almost done by then. Let's wait for our tribe to develop well. Subai ordered. This time in Yanjai, the Yanlong tribe has another good opportunity to surpass other tribes by several blocks. Because the development of the Yanlong tribe has never stopped, and the development of his tribe is all because of blocked by weather factors and vicious beasts. Yes, then I will train the totem warriors first, and I will ask for instructions when the time comes, Kinjian said immediately. By the way, how are the training results of those newly awakened warriors? Subai asked curiously. Every time I heard it from the mouths of the horn girl and the cat ear girl, I never really heard it from those who trained warriors. All the warriors in this group were excellent, and they were able to awaken the power of the totem in just a few days, although they were not very good at using it, Qin Jianhui reported. The newly awakened totem warriors are not only trained by one person, but also the more powerful totem warriors of the tribe will train them. For example, some people are better at this, and some are better at that. In this way, come here and you will be able to teach those soldiers better in all aspects. Yeah? That's good, Subai said with satisfaction. It seems that this group of warriors is really good. Although this can be seen from the probability of awakening at the beginning, no one knows who will be outstanding in the subsequent training. And the subsequent training will also, it is very likely that some people will be eliminated, but the current results are very satisfactory. Yes, they are all very obedient and hard-working, and most of them don't even complain about being tired, Qing Yan also said with satisfaction. To be honest, this group of totem warriors is the most satisfactory group of warriors he has ever seen. Although he has not brought many awakened totem warriors, he can still feel this feeling. Even I am sighing that if this group of warriors continue to practice seriously, it will only be a matter of time before they surpass the existing totem warriors. These are the warriors of the Yanlong tribe. Subai nodded and continued to ask, where are those preparatory warriors who have just awakened, how are they? After learning about the training results of the totem warriors, it is natural to also care about the preparatory warriors. After all, the preparatory warriors are also one of the main combat forces of the Yanlong tribe and can also display considerable strength. Their training is also very hard, and many of them are people who were unable to awaken before. After awakening this time, they cherish the opportunity even more. Qin recalled the batch of preparatory soldiers and continued to report, if we continue with the current training intensity, we will be able to produce results in about 40 days. The result, he said, is to become a qualified preparatory warrior, that is, like the cat-eared girls before. Of course, he has not yet reached a very powerful level. He just said that his strength will become better. Okay, go ahead and be strict with them, Subai said with satisfaction. Third update, please support and customize. I was a village chief in a primitive society. Author, Big White Monster. Chapter 643. Subai opened his eyes when he heard the sound of construction outside the tribe. He got up because of this sound in the past 2 days. Because the tribe has begun to build stone houses, there will be more movement in the morning. They have to polish the stones into the most suitable shape for building stone houses, and the sound of moving and mixing cement will be very loud. In addition, everyone is living a better life now, so everyone will be happier and more lively in the morning. It's easier to chat when more people gather together. Plus there are so many people, so the combined words of your words and mine will be louder. System, sign in and open the assistance package. Subai sat up straight and ordered in his mind. The system packages that were shipped out some time ago were not particularly ideal, just some daily small things. For example, small scissors or knives, and the better ones had pots and pans. The bad ones are even worse, such as clothes hangers. In the primitive era, the most indispensable thing for drying clothes was hangers. Just use a few pieces of wood to prop up the clothes and hang them outside. Giving out hangers is a waste of aid package quota. Ding. Congratulations to the host for successfully signing in. Ding. Congratulations to the host for receiving primary aid, a handful of impatience seeds. Bai looked at the small bag of impatience seeds in his hand, raised his eyebrows slightly and said, "It's okay." He has not had much hope for the system recently, and he is not very surprised by what comes out. For example, it is quite good to be able to produce a small packet of impatience seeds, At least it is something you can't see in this era. Moreover, impatiens also have certain medical effects, such as promoting blood circulation and removing blood stasis, dispelling wind and dampness. Not only that, in ancient times on the earth, many beauty-loving ladies also used impatiens to dye their nails. The dyed nails, it's pink and red, and it looks pretty, but it's more troublesome. Knock knock knock. Yu Ying knocked on the door of the room, and a soft voice sounded, "Wu, my breakfast has been prepared." "I know, I'll come right away." Subai got up and changed into linen clothes. Recently, he has been wearing casual clothes provided by the system to sleep. After all, we are used to this kind of clothing on the earth, so it will be more comfortable to wear casual clothes when sleeping. Tap tap tap. Subai opened the door and came to the living room. After simply washing up, he had breakfast. After eating breakfast, he returned to his office and began to take out paper and pen to plan the development of the tribe. "Wu, this is tea brewed for you." Yu Ying was busy and offered a cup of tea. "Good." Subai smiled slightly. Yong'an building has already recruited maids, and fox-eared lady is still busy. She said that she prefers this way, and the most important thing is that Wu has to cook breakfast, lunch and dinner by herself. "Wu, what are you drawing?" "I just painted all day yesterday," Yu Ying asked, holding her face in her hands. Works like washing dishes were left to the maids. At this time, she had time to stop. "I'm painting the tribe's walls so that they can resist those ferocious beasts during the eternal night this year," Subai said lightly. The city wall is what he has always wanted to build, but unfortunately last year there was a heavy snowstorm during the rainy season. The tribe had to quickly build houses. They also had to store food in preparation for the arrival of heavy snow and ice. And even to fight against those crazy ferocious beasts, there is no extra time or manpower to build the city wall. "What is a city wall?" Yu Ying fiddled with her scattered pink hair. "Just like the row of wooden walls outside the tribe now, except that this wall is made of stone, which will be stronger and safer," Subai explained simply. City walls are often the most important thing on the earth. There is no city without city walls. In addition to dividing the city's territory, the most important thing is to resist foreign enemies and protect it. People in the city are safe. For example, some cities are easy to defend and difficult to attack because of the city walls. Those soldiers standing on the high battlements can launch attacks on the targets below from a condescending position. And the city walls are not as good as wooden walls, made of wood. Walls can be easily knocked down or destroyed by setting fire to them. But city walls made of stone are different. No matter how much you push them or burn them with fire, they will remain standing. This also ensures the safety of people in the city with a high probability. In addition, in the primitive era, wild beasts and ferocious beasts could be seen everywhere. If there were city walls, the threat of ferocious beasts to people in the province would be greatly reduced. "A wall built of stone? Wu, that must be very strong, right?" Yu Ying immediately widened her pink eyes. Now there are stone houses in the tribe, and everyone can see how strong the stone houses are. The fox-eared lady naturally knows the importance of stone walls, but she is just surprised. "Well, with the stone wall, our Yanlong tribe will be even more powerful." Subai smiled slightly. "It's not enough to just build stone houses in the tribe. Stone houses naturally provide a little protection for personnel, but it would be better if there were stone walls. In addition, the Yanlong tribe will develop into a city in the future. In that case, the city wall is indispensable." "Wu, is it also built with cement?" Yu Ying asked curiously. "Well, they are both built with cement, but the construction of city walls will be more difficult than stone houses." Subai suddenly became serious. Building a city wall is not a simple matter. The materials alone are quite demanding. Of course, the small stones used to build stone houses today will not work. The stones used to build the city wall must be large, so the stronger the construction is, the greater the strength. If the city wall is made of small stones, it will be easily knocked down, not to mention the low-end crazy beasts. Woo, is it going to take a long time? Yu Ying also felt something was wrong in the atmosphere. It took almost a year, but I could only see part of it. It was a long job, Subai said seriously. Although there are many powerful totem warriors in the tribe, they are only limited to carrying stones. The biggest job is to protect the safety of the tribe, as well as hunting prey and building city walls. It still falls on those ordinary people. The construction of the city wall is not like playing house. There is no way to build it in 2 or 3 years. Is it going to take that long? Yu Ying wondered if she had heard wrong. It only took a year to build part of it? Yeah, so we're going to take our time. Subai's tone became calmer. I see. Yu Ying's soft and cute voice sounded. Please update for support and customization. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I was a village chief in a primitive society. Author, Big White Monster. Chapter 644. Subai took a sip of tea and continued to draw patterns with a pencil. The construction of the city wall must be very rigorous. Therefore, the design drawings and analysis drawings must be particularly clear, so that those who build them can understand them. He first ran out of a general area of the Yanlong tribe, and then drew a deep ravine around it. This deep ravine is the same depth and width. After I finished drawing the ravine picture, I took out another picture and continued painting, because what the primitive tribesmen wanted was simplicity and clarity. If you express everything you want to express in one picture, they won't understand it. You must draw one step on one piece of paper, and then draw the overall steps on several pieces of paper. In this way, when you show them the design drawings, they will see it more clearly, and they will not be at a loss when the time comes and may even come over to ask. The depth of this ravine must be deep so that the city wall built will be stable, Subai murmured to himself. He still knew a little about these things. He had read a lot of books and videos about history on the earth. So this time he traveled through time so that he wouldn't know anything, and he didn't have to sit down. Eat and wait to die. You can all rely on yourself. The next step is to choose the stone. It must be a harder stone, so that it will not be easily broken, Subai thought as he shook his quill. There is a difference between stones. Some stones are very hard, but some are brittle. Brittle means that it will break into several pieces after being dropped a few times. This kind of stone it is very unstable when used to build city walls. As long as a stronger beast can knock a gap into the city wall in a few blows, it is too dangerous. Xiao Yu, please ask Shan Shan to come over. I have something to ask him. Subai immediately raised his head. Instead of thinking hard here, it would be faster to call a professional to ask. Shan Shan is a famous stonemason in the tribe, so he must know something about this matter. Yes, Yu Ying nodded immediately. Tap tap tap. Half an hour later, Shan Shan arrived at the second floor of Yong'an building with the help of his apprentice, and was arranged to sit down on a stool. This was his first time coming to Yong'an building. He glanced around with surprised eyes, and the expression on his face was full of surprise. Shan Shan quickly brushed away the dust on his body and deposited it all on his clothes, for fear of staining the place. He retracted his thoughts, his face still covered with dust, and asked Wu, "Is there anything you want me to do?" He knew that Wu would not let anyone call him if it was no big deal, and he still came to Yong'an building. Take a look at this first, and then I'll tell you about it. Subai handed over the pieces of paper. Good. Shan Shan's calloused hands took the pieces of paper and began to browse. Subai was quietly drinking tea on the side, observing what kind of expression the other party would make. 10 minutes later, Shan Shan's his expression became more and more serious, and he almost put the paper in front of his eyes. He put down the pieces of paper and asked in surprise, "Is Wu planning to replace the wooden wall with a stone wall?" As he is experienced, he naturally knows what is drawn on the paper. The reason why he has been looking at it for so long is that he is not sure what the gullies are for. Could it be a trap drawn by others who will have to avoid it if they want to get close to the Yanlong tribe in the future? These traps? But this doesn't make sense. If it's a trap, what will the people of the Yanlong tribe do? They also have to go out. Well, I want to replace all the wooden walls with stone walls. This wall is called a city wall, Subai said word by word. He knew that Shan Shan, a stonemason, would be able to understand it. As expected, the result did not disappoint him. Wu, I wonder how high you want to build the city wall, the hill asked, suppressing the question just now. It is 20 feet high and 9 feet wide, which means the height must be 7 meters and the width must be 3 meters, enough for 4 people to walk side by side, Subai explained. It was originally about feet, but after thinking about it, they didn't quite understand. Anyway, we developed measuring tools for them during the rainy season and taught them the units of measurement. At this time, just tell them meters. But I don't understand what it means to say a ruler. Shan Shan suddenly understood after hearing this, and looked at the drawing in his hand, and said excitedly, Wu, if you build the city wall according to these values, you will have to dig a deep trench to stabilize it. The upper part of the city wall, so. He excitedly pointed at the ravine on the drawing. Only then did he understand the meaning of the ravine. Subai smiled and nodded. As expected, professional people can understand everything without saying anything. This trench needs to be wider. I think this can better stabilize such a high stone wall. Shan Shan frowned and thought, and continued, Wu, in this case, it will take a while just to dig this trench, and it will also require a lot of manpower. I will definitely dig such a deep trench before the next eternal night, the hill continued before waiting for an answer. But this trench cannot stop the attack of the vicious beasts. Subai put down the teacup in his hand. Because of this, if the city walls are all built with stone, it will take longer. I think if it is only used to resist those ferocious beasts, there is no need to build it so high. Shan thought seriously and continued, the height and width can be reduced, and then give me more hands. I can guarantee that all this will be completed before the arrival of eternal night. His expression became extremely serious. After all, this is an issue related to the safety of the Yanlong tribe. No, Wu, we have forgotten one of the biggest problems, and that is the problem of the rainy season. If we cannot build it when the rainy season comes, then digging this trench will be in vain. Shan paused and said with a serious expression, after a long period of soaking in the rainy season, this trench is basically useless. I suggest waiting until after the rainy season to carry out this work. Subai shook his head, feeling that this was not a very good suggestion, and asked, if you reduce both the height and width as you said, how long will it take? If this is the case, it will only take more than 30 days to dig the trench, the hill said immediately. Just do what you said. The trench must be dug before the rainy season. The wall must also be built at the same time. No matter what, the trench must be filled up, Subai ordered. Clear, the hill nodded. Second update, please support and customize. I was a village chief in a primitive society. Author, Big White Monster. Chapter 645. Subai took a sip of water and continued to ask, apart from that, do you have anything else you want to ask? You have to dispel all the other party's doubts now, otherwise running back and forth will be a waste of time. Wu, are they made of those things called cement? Qiao Shan asked. As a stonemason, he naturally knows the miraculous craftsmanship of those cements, and also knows how great this invention is. Well, because it is building a city wall, there is no need to be so meticulous. As long as the stones are not too deformed, there is no need to polish them, Subai nodded. Clear, Shan Shan nodded. He was originally responsible for supervising the construction of stone houses at the time, so he naturally knew that the cement could be shaped at will. What's more important is that two stones, no matter how ugly they are, can be bonded together without spending too much money. This will undoubtedly save the time of polishing the stone. Without the time-consuming and laborious process of polishing the stone, the overall construction speed can be improved to a higher level. When I think of this, the hill seems particularly exciting, and I can't help but want to give it a try. You can pick as many people as you want, just say it's my orders, Sudbai said. He can't wait to see the city wall begin to be built. Only when the city wall is truly built can he feel more at ease. Yes, in addition to those mason apprentices, I may need another 300 people, said the hill. If you think you don't have enough people, you can divert them from building houses. The top priority is to build the base of the city wall before the rainy season. Sudbai tapped his index finger on the table. He naturally knew about the rainy season and heavy ice and snow. If those gullies were not filled before the arrival of these two seasons, then this long and wide gully would be dug in vain. Because as long as it is filled with snow and rainwater, the next time you want to continue digging this gully, you will have to dig deeper and wider. This is secondary. The most important thing is that all the previous busyness is in vain. He is busy, so he will not allow this to happen. Even if a city wall is not built before the rainy season, the dug trench must be filled in. Because only if it is filled, can you continue to build the city wall. It's not difficult, just continue to lay stones on the original filled position. Understand, with all that cement and no polished stones, I believe it can be built before the rainy season. Shan Shan wants to try it right away. As a stonemason, what he has to do now is extraordinary. It is no longer as simple as making stone knives and stone bowls before. What is on his shoulders this time is the safety of the entire tribe, and even more, it is the future of the entire tribe. Go ahead, I'll think of something else to do with your legs. Sudbai smiled and said, he has really been thinking about this method recently. Because even a good totem warrior has lost his calves, even ordinary people find it difficult to accept that he has no legs. Not to mention the pain of being a totem warrior without his legs. If you give him a pair of feet, the Yanlong tribe will definitely add another fighting force. Thank you. Wu. The hills became even more excited, and all they could do was nod. Tap tap tap. He left Yong'an building with his hands on his hands, and asked someone to take the drawings with him when he left. Wu, who were you talking about me just now? I don't quite understand. Yu Ying looked innocent. Fox Ear Girl didn't know anything about stones, let alone building city walls. The two of them were having a serious conversation there, and Fox Ear Girl listened to every word you said. Senseless. It's nothing. How are the people in the tribe who are learning knowledge recently? Sudbai asked. Because not only the little kids need to be literate, but the adults also need to find time to learn to read. In addition to the things that must be done every day, take time to learn to read if you have time. If you don't have time, you won't have time. All the people who have the time gather together and wait until a fixed day to teach calligraphy together. In short, the people in the tribe must not neglect the task of literacy. If they want the tribe to develop better, they must be civilized. Keep up. Everyone has been very enthusiastic about learning recently, and they almost know some simple words, Yu Ying said immediately. At first, Fox-eared Lady was worried that they would be very repulsive when she went to teach them how to read. But she was overthinking all this, and those people didn't show much thought at all. I was just curious and learned to read seriously. Help me pay attention to see which adults can read quickly or are very smart, Sudbai ordered. Yu Ying blinked her pink eyes and asked doubtfully, Wu, what's wrong? The fox-eared lady began to worry again. Did she feel that the teaching was not good and she was ready to find someone to replace her? No, I want to train more teachers so that it will be easier for you and me in the future, Sudbai said gently. He knew that the other party must be thinking wildly again, so after finishing speaking, he rubbed Fox-eared Girl's head. Fox-eared Girl's sensitive character has not been completely changed. Once it comes to this, everyone will start to deny whether they are not good enough. So that's it, Wu needs to train more teachers, right? But you're teaching from scratch again. Yu Ying breathed a sigh of relief in her heart, but at the same time she was worried. What she worried about was that Wu would be too tired if he did this, and would have to teach too many people the same knowledge. It's okay, anyway, those people's learning progress is the same as yours now. Next time I teach you how to read, just let them be there. Subai picked up the teacup and continued, you can study together. After they finish studying, they can teach those stupid kids. This won't be too much trouble. He thought more comprehensively. This kind of thing must be arranged in advance. It is not an option to let the fox-eared lady continue to teach. After all, she has many things to be busy with. People in the profession of teachers still need to be specially trained. If it comes out, it will come in handy in the future anyway. Now that you understand, it will be easier. Yu Ying nodded and said. Are Fengko and the others doing well recently? I haven't been to the hospital for some days, Subai asked. Feng Cao is Hu Er Niang's friend, one of the people who were separated from Shahong and the others before. Because he has learned the knowledge of wound treatment and herbal medicine from his mother since he was a child, so in the hospital when it came time to select talents, she was chosen first. Things went very smoothly at the hospital and I didn't fall behind in my studies, Yu Ying said with a smile. Third update, please support and customize. I was a village chief in a primitive society. Author, Big White Monster. Chapter 646. After Subai finished lunch, he returned to his seat. In addition to the dining area, the living room now also has a dedicated office area. That is to say, in addition to the 3 rooms, the living room is also divided into 2 areas, one of which is where he reads or issues some documents. It was originally in the study, but that study has been assigned to the blonde girl as a laboratory. Anyway, I just read books and draw pictures in my living room, so there is no need to go to the 3rd floor. Crunch. Coco pushed open the door of the laboratory and held a tray with several strange bottles on it. These bottles were all made of animal bones and were about the same size as ordinary cups. Woo, this is the liquid collected from the ferocious beasts during the eternal night. I have refined them into more toxic poisons. Coco put the tray on the table. The blonde girl has been staying in the laboratory recently. Since the establishment of the laboratory, she has rarely appeared. She only goes out to eat during 3 meals, and sometimes even they were all sent in by others. She was really addicted to research and felt that research was so interesting to her. Inventing those things every day made people addicted to it. How toxic is it? Compared with the previous poison, Subai asked, his black eyes carefully looking at the bottles of poison. The previous poisons may take a while to take effect, but as long as a little bit of these poisons are applied, the skin will quickly start to rot. Coco pointed to one of the bottles and continued to explain. For example, this bottle only takes 1.5 points to completely kill the entire rabbit, and it only takes a moment. Are the recent experiments all about little beasts? What if you encounter some larger beasts? What are the reactions to these poisons? Subai continued to ask. It is not very convincing that poison will work on small beasts. The most important thing is some larger beasts or ferocious beasts. As long as the poison has an effect on these larger beasts and ferocious beasts, is the real success. I haven't had a chance to experiment with the larger beasts yet. Coco then realized that he was too obsessed with research. He even forgot how to actually experiment to make the poison play its maximum role. It doesn't matter, let the people from the hunting team take it out, and let them test it for you, Subai comforted. He knew that the blonde girl must feel a little shocked now, so he must encourage her at this time. Yes, these bottles of poison are very potent, so they must not come into contact with the skin, otherwise it will easily lead to ulceration and poisoning, Coco said seriously. The blonde girl was very careful during the experiment and never let these poisons get on her skin, Otherwise she would not be standing here. They will be cautious. Are you studying anything these days? Subai continued to ask. It's been a while since Yongye, but the girl is still addicted to her room and rarely comes out. So I'm a little curious whether she has researched something new recently and asked for it recently. There are also a lot of materials. Most of the materials are used to make witch dominoes, and the blonde girl doesn't know what to do with them. I continued to study explosives. I was not very satisfied with the power of the previous explosives, Coco said word by word. During the eternal night, the blonde girl also heard how much damage those explosive packs can do to ferocious beasts. I heard that it often takes several explosive packs to kill a ferocious beast. This power is a bit unsatisfactory. She was satisfied. What she expected was to kill a ferocious beast with one explosive pack, but she didn't expect that it would take so many explosive packs to kill one each time. Moreover, during the 3 days of the eternal night, the explosives had been made and stored before. All the bags have been used up. If it hadn't happened that the eternal night ended and there would be no ferocious beasts, I'm afraid the Flame Dragon tribe would have fallen into a difficult stage. Oh? How's the research going? Subai was a little surprised, because the girl was not asked to increase the power of the explosive pack. At this stage, having an explosive pack is already a very advanced thing, and it was not so demanding that she wanted to know how powerful the explosive pack was. After all, there are very few materials available under current conditions, so it is very difficult for explosive packs to exert too much power. I am currently researching it, and I believe I will be able to see the results for Wu soon, Coco said unambiguously. The blonde girl didn't dare to be careless about this matter, and was even more careful when making it. No one knows whether this explosive pack will explode halfway. If it explodes, the Yong'an building will be over. So the blonde girl is, in order to strive for excellence and stability during production, every step is taken very slowly to prevent accidents from happening. Okay, don't be in a hurry, just take a good rest when you're tired, Subai comforted. He knew that the girl was putting too much pressure on him, so it would be better not to put too much pressure on him, which would lead to better results. Wu, is it true that you said you would help me take back the tribe before? Keek still mustered up the courage to ask. She has wanted to ask this question for a very long time, but she has always been embarrassed to ask. She eats, drinks and even sleeps in Yong'an building every day. She was safely sheltered in Yong'an building every day and lived a very good life, but she kept thinking about this matter, so the blonde girl did not dare to speak. She was afraid that she was a little too pushy and would not be able to maintain her current life. Lost it too? What I like most is research. If I lose my current research life, I'm afraid the blonde girl will be miserable. But after weighing it again and again, Coco decided to ask. After all, compared with the tribe, research is better. The latter is more important. Of course, I'm going to arrange this today, so don't worry. Subai nodded. Of course he knew the subtext of the expression on the blonde girl's face, but it would be best if he could ask. Subai also liked the more direct one, not to mention that he had promised the other party before, so he asked, it's okay to come out. Really? Wu, can our tribe really be saved? Coco's tone became particularly excited. However, the girl immediately realized that her tone was wrong, and immediately lowered her head to apologize. Wu, I was too excited all of a sudden. It's okay, you have a good rest and I will tell you after I figure out what to do. Subai shook his head indifferently. Thank you, Wu K-Sway, and opened the way. Please update for support and customization. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I was a village chief in a primitive society. Author, Big White Monster. Chapter 647. The Sea Fish Tribe, Subai murmured to himself, tapping his fingers on the table. Wu, do we really want to send soldiers there? Shalan asked seriously. The cat-eared girl came back for lunch just after training. After eating, she stayed to report on the progress of the training. Well, before other tribes come, this time is the most suitable. Subai nodded and said. Indeed, other tribes cannot take care of themselves at this time, and they have no time to come to our tribe. Shat. Lan fiddled with her hair and continued, even those who want to attack our tribe are just making a last-ditch effort. Well, most of those tribes don't have witches or chiefs, so these people are nothing to be afraid of. Subai blinked his black eyes. Wu, do you need to tell the chief? Let the chief send someone. Shalan stood up and went to report. Subai put away the fingers of his tapping hand, raised his head and said, no, there is no need to let the chief arrange this matter. Wu, do you have any plans? Shalan sat down again after listening. This is not a tribe that does not need to mobilize troops. Subai smiled slightly. He thought that the sea insect tribe was not a particularly threatening tribe in the first place. When he looked at it from the sky, the tribe was only a medium-sized tribe at best. As long as the leader and the witch are included, if we deal with it, those totem warriors will be in chaos. Does Wu mean that there is no need to send so many people there? Shalan didn't understand the meaning of that idiom. But seeing Wu's confident look on his face, he guessed that it probably meant this. Well, this task will be left to you and Ahua and the others, the totem warriors who have just awakened. Subai nodded lightly. He felt that this actual combat opportunity was the best training for them. It is better to have actual combat experience than to talk about war on paper in the tribe every day. What's more, this war can be won by intelligence, and it won't be too difficult at all. It's dangerous. As long as you follow the plan, there won't be any problems. Really? Can we really be part of this mission? Yanhua became extremely excited in an instant. She used to like going to hunting grounds and going on adventures, but she was left in the tribe because she had just awakened. She was already very frustrated, but she didn't expect to be awakened as a totem warrior. There is still no freedom. But now I am very happy to hear that I can go on a mission. The most important thing is to destroy a tribe. This mission is too exciting. You can participate in this mission, but the main thing is that you have to be obedient, Subai said seriously. He knew very well what Niojiao Niang was thinking in her heart. She just wanted to go out and show her totem power. But now everyone is not at the stage where you are very good, but this time the task it's not particularly difficult. I just want them to try it first. It's just a transitional mission anyway. The most important thing is that there are more advanced weapons, which will still crush others in this regard. As long as they make good use of it, a reasonable plan won't cause any problems for them. That's what he planned in his heart anyway. Don't worry, we will strictly follow the requirements. Yanhua's expression became extremely serious. She knew that she had to be obedient this time, otherwise she would easily be left in the tribe. Niojiao Niang did not want to be left in the tribe. She had always wanted to leave. The power of the totem that has been trained for such a long time still needs to be demonstrated properly. You must know that wiping out a tribe is more exciting than going to a hunting ground. And wiping out a tribe can highlight your own strength. If you do it well this time, it shouldn't be difficult to do other missions next time. Wu, what should we do? Sha Yian's expression also became serious. The cat-eared girl actually wanted to go out. After all, this is the first mission of awakening as a totem warrior. What's more, this mission is to help the blonde girl regain their tribe, the cat-eared girl that makes me even more willing to help. With the two of you as the main ones, select 10 people to form a team and set off. All 10 people are equipped with weapons such as muskets and recurve bows. Subai took a sip of water and continued to make arrangements. And you should also bring a small explosive bag, just in case, but don't use explosive bags unless it is absolutely necessary. Because the mission this time is to regain the territory of the sea fish tribe. If too many explosives are used to blow up the territory, it will be in vain. Understand, I don't have any plans, Shalan asked. After all, the cat-eared girl is a cautious person. She knew that not many people were sent this time, so she must have a plan. Because judging from the witch's acting style, it is absolutely impossible to let them rashly take the risk. Yes, the plan for this mission is a night attack, Subai said word by word. This is the best plan and the safest plan, and it also has the highest profit. Everyone is sleeping at 10 o'clock at night, and there are only a few patrolling totem warriors. As long as these people are dealt with, what will happen next? That would be easier. Night attack? Is this the same plan as when we took back the territory before? Yanhua instantly recalled the time when she attacked the Black Snake tribe. Almost, but not quite, they all attack at night, but I want you to be careful this time. Subai shook his head gently. Does Wu mean to let us get rid of those patrolling totem warriors, and then kill those warriors one by one? Shalan boldly guessed. The cat-eared lady didn't know if her guess was right, but this idea suddenly popped up in her heart. The most terrible thing is that she also felt that this idea was very similar to the witch's idea. Fit. You are right, this is the Nightcrawler plan, Subai said with a slightly raised corner of his mouth. This was the lowest cost and highest profit method he could think of, because it was nighttime, and almost everyone was sleeping. The only ones who could tell the news were the patrolling totem warriors. As long as get rid of those warriors, and those warriors who are sleeping will always be sleeping. I like this plan and it will definitely succeed. Yanhua was instantly confident. Because they also practiced night walking during training, and the most important thing is that the warriors landed silently. They were very good at it. I will tell you the detailed plan later. You must pay attention to safety and run away if you are discovered, Subai warned. He didn't want these people to be too reckless in order to complete the task, which would end up costing their lives. Clear, Yanhua and the two said in unison. Second update, please support and customize. I was a village chief in a primitive society. Author, Big White Monster. Chapter 648. Wu, I want to go with you. Coco came out of the laboratory very seriously. Ever since she heard about preparing to take back the sea fish tribe, the blonde girl has been absent-minded when she returned to the laboratory. She didn't even do the experiment, she just sat there in a daze, recalling in her mind has always been about the sea fish tribe. It's very dangerous to go this time, so you'd better stay in the tribe, Subai said solemnly. Because this is the Nightwalker project, all the totem warriors are there, so they must be extra careful in doing things. If you bring an extra blonde girl, you will inevitably be a little timid. The most important thing is to protect the safety of the blonde girl at all times. This is a bit limited to the performance of the totem warriors. Subai does not want this experience to turn into purgatory. Yes, we will definitely help you take back the tribe. It is safer for you to stay in the tribe, Yanhua said immediately. Niojiao Niang had the same idea as Subai. They both knew that this mission was very dangerous. Bringing another person who is not a totem warrior will not only not be able to help, but may also become a burden. And for taking back the sea fish tribe will not be of much help. Instead of doing this, it is better to stay in the tribe and continue research. Don't worry, we'll be back with good news. Shalan held Coco's hand tightly. Because this time everyone has to bring weapons such as muskets, crocodile knives, and recurve bows. I'm afraid there won't be much time to take care of the blonde girl. But I am very familiar with the tribe, maybe I can be of greater help if I go there, Coco said immediately. Of course she also knew that she was not a totem warrior, and she would probably hold them back. But after thinking about it seriously, she was the only one in the entire Yanlong tribe who had a strong influence on the Haiu tribe as a raft maker. I understand better. Apart from that, there is no more suitable candidate, and Long is concentrating on studying shipbuilding, and has no time to lead this team of totem warriors. Subai thought seriously, and nodded after a while. Said okay, what you said makes sense. Bringing someone who knows the Haiu tribe will make this task more efficient. He also thinks what the blonde girl said is right. If you want to truly complete this mission, you need someone who understands this tribe. This way, you don't have to arrange people to investigate the situation after the totem warriors arrive. At night there will definitely be nothing to investigate, so they can only wait until daytime. They can only wait until the next night to take action. In this way, another night is wasted. If they bring an anti-sea fish tribe for those who know it, even if they have to investigate in advance, it is just to determine the number of people patrolling in the tribe. For example, the specific location and where the warriors are, etc., these can be ignored, because there are people who know the tribe. Great, I won't hold you back. I can definitely help you this time. Coco was very excited. Because the sea fish tribe will be taken back soon. Although she is already a member of the Yanlong tribe, she is still worried about the sea fish tribe in her heart, not to mention knowing that there are still people in the sea fish tribe alive. She is even more worried about it. We have to take back this tribe, because this is the tribe that my father has spent his whole life leading, and he cannot just give it to others. Moreover, he is a bad guy who invaded the Haiu tribe, which is even more unacceptable. We will definitely protect you this time too. Yanhua blinked her red eyes and said. She didn't think too much at first, but after hearing the analysis later, she felt it made sense. It is indeed necessary for someone who understands the environment of the sea fish tribe so that he can better display his abilities. Their strength. This time it is the Nightcrawler project, which mainly involves quietly eliminating those enemies. And obtaining the greatest victory at the lowest cost. If you want this, you must have someone who understands the environment. While on the road, we will also teach you how to use the corresponding weapons, so that you can protect your life at critical moments. Shalan added. Thank you all, Coco said excitedly. She believed that she would not be able to sleep tonight, and her heart had already flown to the sea fish tribe. You must remember what I said, and you must not be too radical. The most important thing is that your life is the priority, Subai continued to warn. He is not worried about anyone. The one he is most worried about is the horned lady. She is particularly worried because she loves adventure. We know. Yanhua and the two responded again. This time, the 10 of you choose 2 hot air balloons, which will be a little more spacious, Subai said. But isn't the hot air balloon going to the hunting ground for the hunting team? Yanhua said doubtfully. A hot air balloon is enough, not to mention that it is just to send them there is no rush to transport prey, Subai explained. It also takes time to send the people from the hunting team to the hunting ground. After arriving, they have to hunt, which also takes time. So the other 2 hot air balloons can be used to transport the cat airs. Mom and the others are going to the sea fish tribe, otherwise it would take a lot of time to just walk through the corridor. The more this moment comes, the more Subai wants the boat to be built quickly, so that it can be used at this time. Because the sea fish tribe is close to the sea, and the big river at the entrance of the tribe is connected to the sea. Taking a boat directly will be very fast, and the most important thing is that it is safer and can carry more things. Got it. Let's get ready and leave tomorrow. Shalan responded immediately. Don't bring canned food this time. It's too troublesome to bring canned food. Just bring dried meat, Subai added. Because the hot air balloon is not particularly big, it is enough to carry these people and weapons. If you bring cans for 10 people and 3 or 4 days, the entire hot air balloon will be too stuffed. Full. Not only will the flight speed be affected, but accidents are also likely to occur, and people riding in the hot air balloon will not have much space, making it very crowded. Yes, we will prepare the jerky tonight, Shalan nodded. The cat-eared girl also felt the same way. Although those cans are delicious, it is not convenient to take them out after all. It seems it is time to consider reducing military rations, Subai murmured to himself. Compressing military rations is very friendly to soldiers traveling far away, so they don't have to bring a lot of food. Mr. Wu, let's get ready first. Yanhua and I turned around and left after saying hello. Third update, please support and customize. I was a village chief in a primitive society. Author, Big White Monster. Chapter 649. System, sign in and open the assistance package. As soon as Subai opened his eyes, he ordered in his heart. Ding. Congratulations to the host for successfully signing in. Ding. Congratulations to the host for receiving a package of primary assistance rice. Subai was very satisfied when he saw the bag of rice appearing out of thin air on the table and said, I haven't eaten rice for a long time. Since time travel to now, he has been eating only meat. Finally, he got wheat some time ago. Only then did he adjust his taste, but he was used to eating rice on the other side of the earth. How long has it been since he came here? How long has it been since I had rice? Polished rice porridge, polished rice, and a few pieces of meat grilled until slightly charred are definitely delicious. Subai started thinking about tonight's dinner. Crunch. After he changed his clothes, he walked out of the room. Preparing for a good exercise first, he picked up the crocodile knife in the living room and started swinging it. Half an hour later, he was already covered in sweat. He simply rinsed, brushed his teeth, washed his face and had breakfast. Wu, I feel weird that Sister Ahua and the others are no longer here, Yu Ying said suddenly. Fox-eared lady felt particularly deep when she was preparing breakfast this morning, because every morning breakfast must be prepared for several people. But this morning, it only needs to be prepared for 2 people, and there is no. She heard the laughter and laughter of the 2 cat-eared girls. She felt that everything was quiet. This quiet feeling made her miss the horned girls very much. They will be back soon, and I will show you something different today, Subai said with a smile. Yu Ying tilted her head with a puzzled look on her face, and asked doubtfully, Wu, do you have any plans for today? Eat first and you will know after you finish. Subai smiled slightly. Half an hour later, the 2 of them simply finished their breakfast. Today they had wheat porridge and fried wild eggs. Wu, I've already packed it up. Yu Ying looked expectant, wanting to know what she was going to play next. Let's go outside the tribe. We need to tidy up the farmland today, Subai said lightly. Because the heavy snow and ice has passed, it is now spring. As the saying goes, auspicious snow heralds a good harvest. After such a heavy snow, it is time to tidy up the farmland and prepare for planting crops. Tidying up farmland? Are you growing crops as before? Yu Ying shook her pink fox ears. Well, there are so many people in the tribe now, so we need to plant more crops on the farmland, Subai nodded. If you want the tribe to be self-sufficient, the farming industry must not be left behind, not to mention that the tribe can't just eat meat. For example, the farming industry can grow some vegetables and wheat. In this way, the tribe people can also adequately replenish vitamins. Because there are many vitamins that are only found in vegetables. It is impossible to supplement all aspects of vitamins only by eating meat. And people need many kinds of vitamins in their lives. Certain vitamins that are lacking, it is also difficult to maintain the functioning of the body. Mainly manifested in various aspects, such as night blindness, frequent oral ulcers, or other symptoms. I see. Yu Ying shook her pink fox tail. You go and call a group of people over, and take the cattle that plowed the land before. This time, you must rectify the farmland, Subai ordered. To rectify the farmland, manpower is needed. It has been snowing for several months, and the land has already become extremely hard. You must have oxen pulling plows to plow the land, so that it can be better plowed. As crops are planted, they can better absorb nutrients from the soil. Good. The clear sound of Yu Ying sounded. Tap tap tap. The 2 left Yong'an building, got on the carriage and headed outside the tribe, where there was a large area of cultivated farmland in front of the ice and snow. More than half an hour later, the two arrived outside the tribe. With the carriage and the peace of mind, it didn't take that long to leave the tribe. Wow, the farmland doesn't even look good anymore. Yu Ying glanced around. I remember that before the big ice and snow, everything here was lush and green, and they were all planted with green crops. It looked very beautiful. Yes, let people pull the oxen to plow the fields as before, Subai ordered. Good. Yu Ying turned around and asked people to prepare. The area of this large farmland is not small. It is about the size of 4 basketball courts on the other side of the earth. With the current manpower of the Yanlong tribe, the farmland area can be so large. Very good. But it is mainly with the help of those cows, otherwise it would not be possible to cultivate such a large area. Most of the cows brought back from the hunting ground have been used to cultivate the land, because they are the most suitable. The 8 cows were slowly moving forward in the field, and the plow tool dragged behind them turned out the previously agglomerated land. The 8 cows were divided into 2 teams, with 4 in each team plowing a piece of land. Like this it will be much faster. Which, the cow is really a good helper for us. The land was dug up at once. Yu Ying sighed. Fox Niang thought about how she used wooden sticks to dig the ground to grow sweet potatoes when she was forced to leave the tribe. Although agricultural tools such as hoes have been invented, it is still difficult to cultivate the land manually. It's still a waste of time to loosen it. Yes, there will be more animals that can help the development of our tribe in the future, Subai said with a smile. There are many animals that can help. There are many on the earth, such as police dogs, draft horses, cats, and other animals. Wu, what should I plant after the land is loosened? Yu Ying asked expectantly, wondering if it would be the same as before. Chinese cabbage, carrots, corn, wheat, etc. Subai smiled and said, this has been planned for a long time. With so many people in the tribe, can this small amount of land be used to grow enough food? Yu Ying thought about the number of people in the tribe. Because the reason why she heard that the planting industry was to be expanded before was because the poor people wanted them to eat the crops they grew. Although the number of people in the tribe is not particularly large, this point it is still a bit difficult to distribute the crops grown on the land to the entire tribe. But the current apprentices are definitely not enough, which is why I asked you to call someone over. Subai scanned the surrounding environment and continued, I plan to expand the area of the farmland. He saw that the location at the tribe's gate is very spacious, not to mention that this place is not intended to be used as a gate in the future. Moreover, almost all the back of this location is forest, so it would be most suitable to open this location into farmland. Wu, do you plan to continue to expand? But there are all weeds over there. Yu Ying looked at the existing farmland surrounded by weeds. Let people clean up all the weeds and let the cattle plow through them, Subai ordered. Please update for support and customization. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. I was a village chief in a primitive society. Author, Big White Monster. Chapter 650. Yu Ying asked people to clean up all the weeds around them. After the heavy ice and snow, those weeds grew faster. And looking around, the entire forest began to turn a touch of green, and the trees began to sprout. As the snow melts, the earth begins to revive. Not only plants begin to sprout, but also some creatures can be seen. Like little squirrels or birds jumping on the branches, as if they are also glad that they have escaped the heavy ice and snow safely. Wu, can we plant crops soon after the snow melts? Yu Ying asked curiously. Fox Ear Girl looked into the distance and found that there was still a lot of snow in the distance. The snow there had not completely melted. It has been a while, and the land is now very fertile, so growing crops will not be a problem, Subai explained. Because a wave of crops was harvested just before the big ice and snow, all the broken branches and leaves were buried in the ground. After a long period of fermentation during the whole big ice and snow period, fertilizer was naturally formed. Plant now. If the crops are removed, those crops will grow very well, and by the way, they will also have the blessing of plant growth. So that's it. Yu Ying nodded in understanding. You ask a group of people to go to the wooden shed to transplant the seedlings of those crops Subai ordered. The seeds sown a few days ago have begun to germinate and are growing very well. It is just right to transplant them at this time, and it is easy to plant them. Good. Yu Ying turned around again and gave instructions. Tap tap tap. Half an hour later, a group of women each held a dustpan, which contained crop seedlings that had just been transplanted from the wooden shed. Each plant looks yellow and green, and it looks full of vitality at first glance, which makes people unable to bear to destroy it. Can we let people plant it? Yu Ying asked with a smile. It will be nice to wait until the land is sorted out again, but it is not even enough yet. Subai looked at the land. Now the newly plowed land is in patches and has not yet become very finely divided soil. I'm going to have someone sort out those clods. Yu Ying knew that farm tools were needed to organize the soil. Those farm tools include hoes and rakes, etc., in order to turn these large pieces of soil into fine pieces of soil, and then lay them into a long rectangle. After everything is set up, you can start planting crops, and planting crops is not too difficult. I have taught them before. Wu, how to plan the planting of these crops? Yu Ying asked curiously. Fox-ear Girl saw that there were many crops transplanted this time, and they were no longer just one or two kinds like before. I want to plant cabbage in this area, carrots in that area, and corn in that area. Subai pointed at the reclaimed land and planned it. This is what he has always wanted to do. Although this is in a primitive tribe, planting crops must be planned neatly. At that time, it will be more convenient to manage, because all crops will be planted in a unified and neat plan. It is also more convenient when harvesting. You can replant new ones immediately after harvesting this area, which will not affect the growth of other crops. In addition, there is a very useless function, that is, it will look more beautiful and will not look messy. I understand, just like building a house, it must be neat, right? Yu Ying blinked her pink eyes. Well, mainly because it is easier to manage, Subai said softly. After more than 2 hours, all the land was leveled by the tribesmen. It doesn't look much different from the acres of land on the other side of the earth, as well as the expanded lands. It has all been cultivated. The land area now reaches the size of 6 basketball courts on the other side of the earth, and the crop seedlings grown in the wooden shed are enough for planting. Not only that, there will be a lot of those crop seedlings left, of course. And the remaining ones will continue to be carried in the wooden shed. Because it is spring, the temperature has begun to rise, and the wooden shed no longer needs to be covered tightly. Now the front and rear doors of the wooden shed are open, the animal skin covering it has also been lifted off, in order to achieve a state of ventilation. Otherwise, if it continues to be sealed, the temperature inside will be too high, and now is not a period of heavy ice and snow. It is easy for the temperature to be too high, so that those crops cannot grow. After the land was sorted, small seedlings such as cabbage and corn were transplanted. Carrots can be sown directly after collecting the seeds. In addition, there are also tomatoes from before. Sweet potatoes, these are also planted in large quantities. Especially sweet potatoes make you feel full easily, so this crop must be planted in large quantities. Moreover, the storage time is relatively long, and it can be stored for several months after harvesting. This can be regarded as one of the food reserves. In case of any emergency in the future, these stored sweet potatoes will come in handy. Woo, I know why we need to grow more types of sweet potatoes. Yu Ying swung the fox's tail happily. The fox-eared lady is very smart. After all, she has followed Subai for such a long time and she knows something more or less. What's more, she has also tried sweet potatoes as a crop, and knows that delicious food and a feeling of fullness. There are many delicacies that can be made from sweet potatoes, and they can also be made into sweet potato powder for other foods. What's more, sweet potatoes are also easy to grow, so we need to grow more of them. Subai smiled and said. Which, have these crops been witchcraft? Yu Ying asked curiously. Well, the witchcraft has already been performed. You just need to take good care of it in the early stage, and it will grow very well in the later stage. Subai nodded. When these crops were not seeds, they had grown through the plant growth technique. When they matured, the seeds were kept. He once again used the plant growth technique on those seeds, and now they are so it can grow only by using the previous seeds. It will definitely grow very fast, and according to the previous time, it will be harvested in about 9 days. Yu Ying calculated the time. Next thing you know, plant new ones as soon as you harvest, Subai said with a smile. He has arranged agriculture here for the time being, because Siameng Chen only has these crops. The system has not released any new crops, and the current crops are enough. Wu, there is still wheat. Yu Ying remembered this important point. After all, wheat has become a staple food. Reclaim a piece of land to grow wheat, Subai ordered. Second update, please support and customize. I was a village chief in a primitive society. Author, Big White Monster. Chapter 651. Hoo-hoo. 2 huge hot air balloons were slowly advancing in the sky, and a kerosene nut had just been added to the flame on the flame device. Yanhu leaned on the edge of the hot air balloon board and sighed. How many more days do we have? Niojiao Niang wanted to land and rest, but spending too much time in the sky was not very satisfactory. When we landed to rest last night, she was so happy that she offered to go hunting and patrolling. The reason is to be able to stretch the muscles and bones. Who said there would be a whole day of flying the next day? Tomorrow is here, just bear with it, Coco guessed based on the memory of the past. One more day. Yanhua closed her eyes helplessly. You should go hunting during your rest at night. Shaylin covered her mouth and smiled. The cat-eared girl also knew what the other party was thinking, she just couldn't stay still, so she couldn't let her go. As promised, no one can argue with me. Yanhua's eyes opened wide again, like big beads. Chew chew chew. As soon as the Niojiao Niang and others finished speaking, there were bursts of bird calls from around the hot air balloon. The sound is very crisp and penetrating, like a whistle. There are beasts. Yanhua stood up straight in an instant. He looked completely different from the depressed look just now, and the recurve bow in his hand was already ready. It sounded like a group. Shalan came to the edge of the hot air balloon and scanned the surrounding airspace. Puchi, Puchi. I'll take a look. Chinchi flapped his slender black wings. Yanhua subconsciously covered her face and said with dissatisfaction in her tone, I told you to go outside and flap your wings again. The space of the hot air balloon is not small, but it cannot withstand the swift boy opening his big wings and flapping them. It can easily hit others, or affect the balance of the hot air balloon. I didn't mean it, I went to see it first. Chinchi squatted on the edge of the hot air balloon and took off. Puchi, Puchi. As the boy flew away, the hot air balloon swayed slightly and soon returned to its original state. I'll go and have a look too. Air followed and flew out of the hot air balloon. The two flew around the edges of the 2 hot air balloons, with 2 pairs of eyes scanning the nearby airspace sharply. Chang Shi adjusted his goggles, frowned and said, I don't know anything. Didn't see it? Me too, but don't be careless. Air flapped her purple butterfly wings. There are tall trees around here, maybe hiding in the woods. Chinchi carefully looked at the large forest below. The hot air balloon is not very close to the forest, so it should be fine. Air also looked at the large forest. The forest under the hot air balloon was so wide that you couldn't see the edge at a glance. There was also a winding river in the middle of the large forest, and you couldn't see the twists and turns. And Puchi, Puchi. The two flew back into the hot air balloon and explained what they had just analyzed. Don't be careless, anything can happen if you leave the tribe. Shalan warned. The cat-eared girl is different from others. She left the tribe for a long time after the last attack by the Black Snake tribe. This scene now is too familiar. Leaving the protection of the tribe is dangerous. Everywhere. It's not like this has never happened before. Didn't it just happen some time ago? Yanhua also knew not to be careless. Before Yanjai arrived, the tribe was attacked by a huge unknown bird. Fortunately, nothing happened, and the huge bird was also dealt with. I feel like these ferocious beasts will rush out at any moment. The sandy blue eyes have been looking at the environment under the hot air balloon. Chew chew chew. There were bursts of hurried cries and sounds of rubbing branches. A group of gray-brown birds with a pointed beak and a bit of gray-brown at the end. Their claws are thin and short, and their sharpness can be seen. Their size is similar to that of eagles on the other side of the earth. The wings are 1 meter long and look like a cross between an eagle and a dove. In short, it's weird. There is a ferocious beast attacking. Please be careful. Yanhua knew that things were not that simple. We must protect the hot air balloon, otherwise we will not be able to return. Shalan said the seriousness of the matter. The cat-eared girl saw that these beasts were very big, especially their mouths were very pointed and long. If the animal skin on the hot air balloon was punctured, they would fall directly. Clear, the rest of the totem warriors said in unison. Everyone had their recurve bows ready, just waiting for these ferocious beasts to approach and kill them with one arrow. The forest underneath the hot air balloon was still some distance away, and this gray bird had to fly. It also takes time to come up. The reason why the totem warriors did not shoot arrows blindly was because they were worried that they would miss the target or have insufficient lethality. Although the recurve bow can already fire 3 shots in a row, if they are all empty, they must be reloaded. This paragraph, there is no doubt that the time is broken, and the gray bird is likely to attack during this time. Aim for their heads or wings and never let them get close to the hot air balloon. Shalan wants these birds to fall directly. You are unlucky to meet me today. Yanhua has already caused 2 gray birds to fall with her ultra-precise accuracy. Moreover, both birds were shot in the head and fell before they even screamed. Maybe these birds were all. I don't know how I died. I disappeared before I even got close. Boo-hoo-hoo. There were bursts of sound breaking through the air, and the other totem warriors also began to fire recurve bows. Chew chew chew. The gray birds visible to the naked eye fell down one by one, but there were still many. Wanjiang looks like a large group, but I can't tell how many there are. Ahua, there is no way to continue like this. Their numbers many, our arrows are limited. Shalan realized something was wrong. No matter how the totem warriors shot down the approaching birds, the remaining birds would still continue to fly up. Witches once taught us something like that: to catch the thief first, catch the king. Yanhua didn't remember it very clearly, so she said seriously, there must be the leader of these birds inside. I think it would be better to shoot him. Yes, that's it. Shalan also remembered the sentence. When the cat-eared girls had nothing to do in Yong'an building, Subai would teach them some skills when he was free. For example, how to lure the tiger away from the mountain, the 36 tactics of running away, and catching the thief first. King and the like. And the cat-eared girls listened with gusto and found these methods very useful. It would be good to listen to them more. There it is, right in the middle. Yanhua found the leader of the group of birds in an instant. The gray bird was obviously much larger and had some black mottled lines on its body. It had been hiding behind the other birds and did not dare to approach easily. Please update for support and customization.